is the anthem. Here's what you came for. This is the moment. Magic was made for. Come on, come on. Light up the sky now. You feel the magic. Happening right now.
Good morning to everyone. I wanted to do an opening before I actually open this on my own. So this is a brand new watercolor set. It has 100 colors. It looks like there's metallic, the regular, and then a couple different ones. I bought this yesterday at an actual professional watercolor shop, and I figured that I should open it on video instead of just opening it by myself. And then I have a couple other things I wanted to share, supplies I use and whatnot. They had a sample in the store to look at, which was nice. I almost actually bought the sample. Didn't realize there was another box, but this is even better because then I get to do an unboxing video. Alright. Sweet. Okay, here's the box. Box is gone. Don't need the box anymore. There is how to use your water brush pens if you aren't familiar with them. I have some really old ones I've been using for years. And then it looks like it gives you a watercolor pad, which is great actually. This is cold press paper. I normally use cold press, I believe. I don't typically use hot press. Oh, fun. This is actually really pretty. I don't believe the tin in the store was this color. So this is actually a very pretty color for it to be. I'm gonna move the watercolor pad over out of the way. The scissors. This is really pretty. So right off, obviously when you open it, it has the covers, which is nice. It tells you all of the names of the colors. And then it shows you which ones obviously are the metallics, which are the top. All of the top colors are, which is wonderful. Oh yeah, this is definitely a little different than the store. That's cool. The sample. Then we have the toolkit. I'm gonna try to open this without ruining the box or my nails. There's some water brushes. Those are really nice. There's another one. So, opening this box, you have a nice fine liner drawing pen. It's a size 3. I typically use this size, so I'm actually really happy about this. I assume this is waterproof. There are some brands that I have tried and they are not waterproof, which is a little rough, obviously when you're watercoloring or whatnot, if they're not, or using alcohol markers as well. So like I typically use this Copic multi-liner when I do most of my alcohol marker art that you guys see, watercolor, gouache, whatnot. I use this. This is water and Copic marker proof, which is great. And then I use a couple different brands, such as like Hobby Lobby's brand and whatnot. They're pretty good that way. I'm actually going to keep this. I would like to keep the colors and keep these nice as well. So here are the water brush pens. These are obviously rounded brushes. That's typically what's used for watercolor. You just fill them with water and then you can squeeze them and they'll spit water out. It's pretty nice. These old ones that I have, after a while, they don't really do it when it gets down low, so obviously you can see the waters to here. This one, if I squeeze it, it's really hard to squeeze out the water, and obviously these are old, so I might actually, because I use this one all the time, now I actually have a brand new one. So, and then I have a couple different ones from another watercolor set that I've never used. I actually have. So from the same shop, I actually bought this one. This is what I use all the time as well. These are also professional watercolors. Obviously I've been using it, but I have another water brush, so that's great. So I'm gonna add that actually to my little collection here. And I'm gonna toss my old ones. But I wanted to show off the supplies. Obviously this set is absolutely beautiful. You have a ton of colors. My only peeve that I personally have is they're not in color coordinated order. I always color coordinate mine unless obviously it's stuck, and I don't really want to try to pull these out. Yeah, and that doesn't look like you can. So with this set, this is my one that I bought from the same shop. I was able to actually color coordinate these, so as you can see, it goes all the way from red down to the blues, greens and whatnot, purples, pinks, and then all of my browns, my black, and my white. That's how I typically color coordinate those, just so I can find the colors easier. And then this one I have from Hobby Lobby. This is a $6 set. This one is actually brand new. I have an old one that me and my mom took a watercolor class, and I let her use those colors, and I bought myself a new one because I didn't know she wanted to keep that. But this one is not color coordinated. Obviously you can still find the colors because it's a smaller set. This one here that I have, I'm going to have to use the covers, so I'm going to keep these. But if you put these in spots, you can see the colors a lot better. So if you need, you can see the colors better. That was nice that I didn't put it in the right order, but then that way you can tell there's pastel colors. It said that there was some other ones. So pastel, obviously the metallics and whatnot. So this is actually really nice that it tells me, and then that way I can look at what I actually need, which is great. It did tell me I had color swatches, but I don't see any, and I don't want to pull these out. It would just sit on top, so I think they might be in our little watercolor sheet set. So we're gonna open this guy very carefully because I don't want to cut any of the paper. I love that this set actually came with a lot because it was a $40 set, but I got it on sale. So I only paid about $35 for this set. This is great because if I go to somewhere like Hobby Lobby, it is so much more, and I'd rather pay for professional watercolors than ones that I'm not very happy with. Oh yeah, sweet. So it tells me, so I can actually paint these swatches and then know what my colors look like, and then I have these brand new sheets that I can use, and we'll have to figure out what to paint on these. I'm actually quite excited for this size. It is an 8x4-ish, 8.5 by 4.25 it looks like. Kind of an odd size, which we love that obviously our paper as an artist comes in like sizes that don't fit in frames normally, so a little rough that way, but I do actually have some paintings in progress. So I have Dragonite I still need to finish, and then I have this cute little frog that I actually based off of, I have this cute little figure here. So I'm going to try to paint it a little bit. So that is in the works. So obviously you guys will see that soon. I just wanted to show a couple more of things I use. So anytime I watercolor, I sketch. Obviously you can see in this, I have sketched out my design, and then I take a kneaded eraser and I completely erase this, but I can still see my lines. It gets rid of the lead so it doesn't smear it. Obviously water will smear lead, which sucks because when I first started learning watercolor, I did that and it wasn't very fun. So as a beginner watercolor, I would sketch out a design and then I do my kneaded eraser, and then just go from there, start painting. And then once I'm finished with the design, as you guys can see in my videos, then I will ink it with one of the drawing pens, which is really fun. It makes your colors pop. Obviously a finished design looks a little better. I will also use Posca markers. So I actually have this one that I just finished. This video is up, so if you guys want to go and watch this, it's just a time lapse of me working on it. Obviously this takes me some time. It's kind of a long video if we try to do it as a video. I would like to do more of things like this in a bigger video if you guys are interested in that. We're going to be doing that. I crochet a lot, so I want to try to video those. I know those can be kind of awkward videos, so need to find a good angle and do those. I also, from that same shop, I have these, but obviously that's an open one. Let me find, I have an older one, or a newer one, brand new, that has not been opened. This is another thing I use. Sometimes I'll use the Copic sketch. So like my Megatron artwork, I use the alcohol markers for his face, and then use the watercolor for like the background and whatnot, just to make everything pop. I use these markers. These are the ones that I ink with typically. I have different sizes, so all the way down to 0.05, all the way up to the bigger sizes. Brush, obviously, as well. Then my Posca markers, I use these ones. These are the skinnier ones. I have the thick ones as well, but those I use more for acrylic artworks. Watercolor is a little smaller, so you don't need, you know, as thick unless you're doing something else. These are the tiles I use. I bought these from that same shop for $6. It comes with 75. These are great. They work with a lot of stuff, so you can use this with watercolors, you can use it with the alcohol marker, you can use it with pen, pencil, just whatever, and it's great. I love how small they are, the 3x3s, they're great. Nice to have fun with and whatnot. Really thick paper as well. That is one of my favorite things to use. I also stamp all of my artwork. If you guys have seen my packaging videos, we're gonna close this guy up real quick and then show a little bit more of the supplies that I've got in case anybody wants to go and see if they can find these. And then obviously this is the Grabie 100 color watercolor set. I will put that in the description if I can. Alright. And then I have an ink pad that I use, so I stamp all of the backings of my artworks. And then I have this cute little stamp that I bought from Hobby Lobby for a couple bucks. It just says uniquely handmade limited edition, because all of my artworks, like if you look on my Etsy shop, all of my artworks that I sell are typically the original painting. So like if I took this frog picture, I paint it, whatnot, I will post this, and this is the piece you get. You don't get a print of this, you get the actual copy. Unless obviously I decide to keep it. But the only prints I typically have are of my digital artwork. Obviously that's the original piece, I just have to print it out because it's not a physical copy. Most people, when they have shops and whatnot, like I know that my friend does, she will do prints. Some of them are the original pieces, but most of her stuff is prints because of she'll have it in a sketchbook, or she'll have it as digital and whatnot, so then we just have to do it that way, which is totally fine. I mean, most people enjoy the artwork anyways, but I know a lot of people actually enjoy the original piece. And then I package everything, so then that way it stays safe. I have 4x6 sizes and whatnot of paper I use, but then I have these from Hobby Lobby as well. These are my little art bags. I put the art in these sleeves, close it up, and then it stays nice. These are super cheap, super nice, easy. And then my pencils that I use, I have these For Candies brand pencils, and then it's actually a set my friend bought me, but I have scattered some of my items, so I have a missing eraser and a missing sharpener and whatnot, but it comes with all these lead, so you don't have to buy it. It comes with different size pencils, and they're all mechanical pencils, which is super nice because I don't mind normal pencils, but sometimes the graphite isn't as strong, so when you're actually sketching, it's not as fine lines. They're easier to see. So I do that and whatnot. I have my cup that I use filled with water. Obviously, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to work on an artwork. I have this little spray bottle. Obviously, I just didn't go and buy one because I had this little one. I use this. I spray sometimes my watercolor if I need to, if I need it the whole time. I will spray it, but my gouache is typically what I have to spray. Mine is dried up, but it still works. Some of them aren't that way. I've kind of tried to reactivate some of them, so some of them actually work the way that they used to. This is the HIMI brand. This is the most popular set, is this teal box. It's the smaller brand of colors, or smaller size of colors, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I use this, I spray them all, and then I start painting. Sometimes I have to respray them. Obviously, like I said, they have dried up. I've had this for about 2 years now. Absolutely love this set. Their brand is great. I do have some gouache and watercolor tubes from Hobby Lobby that I use. Sometimes I can always fill those if I run out. I also have this small set that I bought from Hobby Lobby. This is metallic watercolor. I use this all the time. Obviously now I have the new set, have more colors, but this is really great. Good travel size if you need to travel. And then I just added a cute little sticker on top, just so then that way I knew what that was in case I buy another one or whatnot. I have a couple more sets. This is the Winsor & Newton watercolors. These are more professional. They're not my favorite. I don't like to mix colors when doing watercolor. I just like having my color options. I've always kind of been that way. I like having more colors, more options. Don't have to mix them. It's a little nicer that way. And then obviously I have a regular eraser, whatnot. I have gel pens. I'm trying to think of what else I use. Typically I have a ton of acrylic paint that I use. I don't do acrylic as much anymore, as you guys have noticed in some videos. I don't use those. I have a couple more sketches, you know, that I've got ready to go, ready to do, ready to paint. Just some more Pokemon. I need to work on doing some more SpongeBob characters, more Disney characters, more Disneyland. I do have a Disneyland sketch here. I would like to finish it before the season, but I have this. This is super great. This is actually the postcard ones at Hobby Lobby. These are really fun because then I'll write on the back what it is, but they turn out really nice. So I use that for anything that I do landscape wise. All of my paper that I use, I have this nice set actually from Walmart of all places. Let me pull it out here. This set, the last time I bought it was only $10. I know sometimes it can change, but I have this jumbo pad of watercolor paper. It's 9 by 12. It's pretty big. It's really nice. I love it. Just thick. Good paper. Nothing bleeds through. That's what I used for my Charizard, obviously. That's normally what I use. Then I also have like sewing stuff and whatnot. So I actually have these. I'm going to be working on this later today, working on some sewing projects. I like to make little blankets, little blobs. If you guys look at my videos, I have made some little blobs before. Those are fun. So lots of different stuff. And then I have my alcohol markers. This is just an example of some of the brands I have. This is Hobby Lobby brand. It's lasted pretty long. I do quite enjoy it. I used to do a lot of alcohol marker art. Sometimes I just go straight to digital. I need to get back into doing these, obviously. And then every time I paint, if you guys notice, I always light a candle. So right now, because it is Halloween time, I have this one that I always have. So if you guys see my videos, I have my stand that my phone's on, and then I just set a candle actually in the line. Obviously I have my phone standing straight up and down for short videos, but I just set it, and then I have my piece of paper. So for example here, this is kind of my layout. So I'll have all of my stuff. I put my cups here, and then I always have this on me, right next to me. And then I will place my watercolor on this side here and lay it out, and then I will sit and paint my artwork. I also, if I ever need it, which I need to wash this one, I have this cute little cloth. This is to wipe your brushes on. I need to wash it probably today. It gets a little rough, but it's got a cute little pig design. This is super nice. I didn't even know this existed until I went to that professional shop again that I got these from, and this. I absolutely love that art shop. That is great. They only typically sell watercolor stuff. I have never seen really anything else. I've seen like color pencils and whatnot, but just nothing besides that. No acrylic, no oil, no nothing like that. They do art classes there at that shop, and they use other paint, but they just don't sell other paint. It's a very small shop, so typically more used obviously for other things. But yes, this is what I'll be working on today. I have quite a bit that I'll be posting this week. I have a 4-day weekend off of work, so I will be working on quite a bit of paintings. I should have some for a few weeks. Anytime I have a weekend off, that's always what I do, is I will sit and try to get a lot done, so then that way I can post for a while and then be able to take a break. So awesome. All right, well, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. And I have Instagram if you guys just want to keep updated on the posts. If you guys want to see more videos, obviously I have the shorts. I will be making more longer videos. I want to do a tour of my office that I work in. Right now it's decorated for Halloween. So yeah, well, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it.